Now in this case, this is the default position. This top left position is the default position that is being used over here. The image is practically placed in the top and in the left position. So if we now use background position, now we can see here comes all those alternatives. This is the left part. Now instead of it, if we use center and if we reload, we can see that the image is now placed in the central position. On the other hand, if instead of center we use right, then on reloading we can see that instead of the left alignment of this particular background image, it is now appearing to the extreme right. In the same manner, if instead of right we use here bottom, this will be the result. The image is now practically appearing at the bottom of this particular element. And in the same manner, if we use top, reload, and we can see that now the image is appearing at the top position of this particular div element. Now what happens if we use a single image that will be fixed to a particular position, and all these contents, those will be scrolling all over to it? In doing so, the first thing that we are going to do, instead of fox small, we will be using here foxbig.png that we have seen over here. This is the foxbig.png. So first of all, let's reload. There it goes. This is the foxbig.png image. We can see that it is a better and bigger image that is being used over here as a background image. Now all we are going to do, we are going to provide a background attachment of fixed. So what will be the scenario under this condition? Now let's get back to our project and reload. And now we can see that actually all these contents, the entire div element is practically being circulated over this particular fixed condition of this background image. In order to understand it better, let's get back to index.html, and here we are going to increase this particular content that we have used over here. There it goes, reloading, and now we can see that there is a lot of content that is being used presently, and we can see that practically this whole div element is getting scrolled over this fixed background image that we have used. And we have stated that this image will be positioned at the top position of that particular element. So this is exactly what is being observed over here. The image is now placed on the top. In the next case, instead of fixed, all we are going to do, we are going to use a scroll command. Get back to your project and reload, and we can see that this entire image along with the div element is now scrolled up or scrolled down. So this is the property of scroll if we use scroll over here. In another instance, now let's use this local condition here. Get back to your project and reload, and we can see that this is practically the same thing that we have observed in case of scroll. Now if we just get back to our project and if we ask it to be fixed into a particular position, there it goes. It is not scrolling the background image, it has been fixed into a particular position. In another instance, now for say, if we say that all those things, those are practically a huge one, we have used a plenty of background properties to describe the behavior of this particular background image. So instead of making distinct properties into the CSS or cascade style sheet for the same background image, now let's try to compile them into a single place. So how to do it? In this particular case, all we are going to do, we are going to remove this particular background image from here, and here with a space we are now providing this no repeat condition. Then we are providing this position top. Then we are providing this fixed condition here. So we can see that all these three properties, those are practically being used over here, this no repeat, this top, and this fixed condition. and all we are now going to do, we are going to comment this thing off. We don't have a need of it because we have assembled them into a single place, into a single part right over here. We have defined this URL, that means the relative path of this particular image, and then we have discussed about the behavior of that particular background image. It will be not repeating in nature, it will be situated in the topmost position, and it will be fixed in a certain position. Now if we get back to our project and reload, and now we can see that all those properties, those are being executed. We can see that the image is practically fixed into a certain position. It is residing at the topmost position of the same particular element, and it is obviously no repeating in nature. For sake of clarification, we are using this Fox small image again. Get back to our project, reload, and we can see that the background image is acting as it should have been over here. And another thing, instead of top, now let's place it into the central condition. So we are stating that the background position of this particular image is center. Instead of top, it is now center. Now this particular syntax won't be working because it is practically being commented off. Now let's press Ctrl S and get back to our project and reload. We can see that the image is now residing at the central position of the same particular div element that we are using in this purpose. And if we scroll down or scroll up, we can see that practically the image is fixed into that particular position, and the content is now scrolled up or scrolled down.